Back at the Dog Pound, the Consolation Championship is in the books. It's time now for the championship. Pair of unbeatens. The hosts, 6-0 Defiance Bulldogs, led by head coach Brinn Layman, taking on Jamie Kashmerick and the St. Francis Knights out of Toledo, also 6-0. Somebody will suffer their first loss of the season here in about 60 minutes. The other will head into the Christmas break, still riding the wave of an unbeaten record. Had a chance to stop out to the walkthrough this morning for Defiance and talk with head coach Brinn Layman. Our player profile for the Bulldogs is the sophomore standout, Josiah Schlatter. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to hear from Coach Layman right after this as the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show continues on DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Welcome back. The Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show continues on DCTV Sports. Brent Balbinot saying thank you for joining us as we reach the championship game of the Grube Classic for 2025. What a difference a year makes. This time last year, Defiance was trying to find some offense. They dropped both games. Tonight, they're trying to win 2 games and keep some hardware in their own case. Coach Layman joining us right now. Coach, before we preview also another unbeaten team in St. Francis, let's rewind and break down Saturday. I know that you had talked about it in the postgame, but defense, you hold Bowling Green to 20 points. They're trying to find themselves. Arguably, their best player only played half of a half. But at the same time, you still have to be able to communicate. I know that's one thing that you've been stressing on. Break the whole picture down for us.
Yeah, I think, they were dealt an unfortunate hand Saturday night with an injury or whatever happened with number one. But I think we dictated a lot of, what went wrong for them. Mm-hmm. I think we pressured them and we ran some guys off the three-point line. So I think our defense, really dictated the outcome. I don't think it was, their misfortune more so than us just playing very well. So it was good to see we communicated well defensively. We pressured well. I think that was the best game we've put together. Not even looking at the score, but just the effort and everything we were able to do.
It's one thing to take away an opportunity. A steal is a lost possession. You cashed in at the other end. You turned a lot of defense into offense. Is that something you're looking to do more?
Yeah, we got more deflections. We not necessarily steals off the dribble, but just impacting passes and impacting driving lanes. So I think, we were able to pressure them in certain situations that led to turnovers that created offense and really sparked us.
Different coaches have a different term for it. I've heard daggers, I've heard ledges, but basically, if you can't secure the ball, keep it alive. Maybe tap it to a teammate. Do you keep a category like that?
We keep track of deflections, and that's something that we refer to. And, how much of an impact are you really having on the game defensively? Because I think, steals is something, it's an outcome where you might not have done a whole lot, but the ball ends up in your hands. But deflections are effort-based, and those are, awareness. So we keep track of deflections, and I think that's a better indicator of team defense.
Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about balance. And it's been different players. In particular, now that we've got the proper name to the proper number, but you get some underclassmen making some contributions, double-digit contributions to join your captains. Break down, I guess, the overall roster, and are you on pace where you thought you'd be about this point in time of the year?
I think we've still got some room to improve. We just got a couple guys back this weekend. We've got young guys contributing. We've got a balance of veterans that have been around a while. We've got some seniors that haven't been around a ton. So it's a good blend of guys with experience and inexperience, but I think we're far from a finished product. I think, we can improve. I think we've played well, but there's definite rooms for improvement, and we've got guys, like I just said, that haven't been around, but now that they're back, I think we can get it clicking even more.
Well, let's go ahead and mention one of those guys, Brez Zippel in particular. 9 points, and again, turning a lot of defense into offense. Traditionally, at least what do you expect his role to be moving forward?
He's going to be the utility man. He's going to be a guy that can defend. He's adds some versatility defensively where he can guard 1 through 5. Offensively, he can move a little bit. He hasn't, proven that he can shoot it great at the varsity level, but he is capable of shooting it and also attacking and scoring inside. So I think as he gets healthier, people are going to start to see that versatility.
Let's go ahead and break down tonight's opponent, St. Francis, winning handily after they got a little bit of a test in the first half against Anthony Wayne. But, man, when they flipped that switch, they just looked like a different team. And let's start with the obvious notable height, 6'8", 6'9", 6'11", and I believe another 6'11". Tough to practice against that. You've got some height of your own. How do you attack the interior? What do you do?
We've got to play physically, and we've got to have our best rebounding night of the year. They are big, and I think that, it adds some matchup issues for anybody, but their guards are really what make them go. So I think as good as their bigs are and as long as they are, I think it's their guard play that's their motor, and we're going to have to keep their guards out of the paint. We're going to have to defend the three-point line well. And then, like I just said, it's got to be our best rebounding night of the year.
You beat me to it. We talked about him before we actually hit the record button here. Heck, their point guard is the straw that stirs the drink, and he's smooth. He doesn't look like he forces anything. He lets the game come to him, but he's also the type of guy that can kick it into another gear, and next thing you know, you think you're playing against a completely different guy. Does he draw multiple defenders? Do you face guard him all night? How do you keep him in check?
He's not going to draw multiple defenders, but he's one that we're going to be aware on where he's at all times. And he's somebody that we're going to pressure. Logan Hutchison, similar in stature. He's a guy that I think can apply some pressure, but we got to be smart about it. We can't give him easy lanes to the paint, but then he can very easily step back and hit jumpers and three-pointers. So he's a tough guard. He's somebody we're going to rotate guys on, but he is going to be 1A in our concerns defensively.
Talked with Coach Kashmarek a little bit after their win against Anthony Wayne. 60 points offensively seems to be the line of demarcation for them. If they hit 60 or better, they feel confident in a win. I talked with you last week. You were thinking 50. Now, clearly, they want to get up and down the court. You will run when it's there. But do you want the salsa hot tonight, or does it need to be a little bit more mild?
I think they don't mind it being a low-scoring game. So I don't have any, indication one way or the other. I think they have offensive weapons, but I think their defense kind of goes unheralded. They defend very, very well. And that's what Anthony Wayne came out red hot, scored 15 or 17 in the first quarter, and then, it went dry the rest of the game. So I think they don't mind it being a low-scoring game. A couple years ago when we beat them in the championship, it was low-scoring. Last year when they beat Anthony Wayne in the championship, it was low scoring. So they don't mind one bit if it's a low scoring game. They're going to buckle down and guard. So I think it's going to be whoever values possessions a little bit more and takes care of the ball.
So we take a look at turnovers. That's the column to watch then tonight.
I believe so.
What's this group got to do to win?
Take care of the ball. And I think be competitive. I think you got to look teams in the eye, and we can't, allow them to come in and be the big brother, the bigger school, and they have tremendous athletes, and they've got size, but we've got some fighters, and if we believe we can do it, I think we can stick with them.
Chip on your shoulder tonight?
100%.
Take it with you all the way through Christmas. Best of luck to you.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Coach Layman joining us. We're going to take a quick time out. Our player profile is sophomore standout. He's one of many, Josiah Schlatter. Don't you go anywhere. More of the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show continues right after this. It is the championship game of the Grube Classic, and you're watching DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Welcome back. The Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show continues on DCTV Sports. Brent Balbinot saying thank you for joining us. Our thanks going out to our pregame sponsor, Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, located on North Clinton Street in Defiance. Stop on out. Check out their great selection of both new and used vehicle. They know everybody's on a budget, and used is quite often, I think they call them cream puffs, the way to go. Broken in, not broken down. If you can't get out there in person, you can always check out their selection online at drivebobestill.com. Time now for our player profile. We've got a battle of heavyweights tonight in the championship game of the Grube Classic. Josiah Schlatter joining us right now. Now, you were listed at 5'11" on the roster. You're telling me that's accurate?
Yep.
because he's honest. Otherwise, we wouldn't give him a microphone. Sophomore has been doing great things for this program through the first handful of games. Matter of fact, St. Francis also undefeated. So somebody will remain unbeaten going into the Christmas break. Somebody's going to be saddled with their first loss. Before we preview, let's rewind. You okay with that?
Yep.
Yep. He's a man of few words. You are averaging, coming into tonight's ball game, I'm looking here, double digits, roughly 16 points, 5.5 boards, and he shares the ball too, 2.5 assists per ball game. I want you to think back to the very first varsity game when you suited up. How fast were things moving? He's smiling right now. What was that acid test like?
It's quick. I mean, it's a different ball game. Coming back, playing middle school, playing JV last year. I mean, it's just a big jump coming in playing defense against guys that are quicker than you, bigger than you. It's just a big jump, but it's fun.
Now, it's not just faster physically, but a lot of guys will say mentally as well. I know you said you struggled a little bit, but how important was it just to get your feet wet?
Just getting used to it was big, and being able to know that I can do it, that's huge. Confidence was big coming in.
Clearly, he got over the jitters quickly, averaging double figures, making your mark very early. Is there a game or a point where you just remember things slowing down for you, or was it just kind of a slow process?
Just every game, getting my feet wet playing. Every game just builds on it, and you get more and more used to it, and then you can just go out and play.
This young man can score. He's not just a shooter. He can get to the rim. Seems to like the corner three. Do you have a favorite shot?
Yeah, the corner three is nice. I like that one.
Now, part of that, too, is you got to have teammates screening for you. You have to be moving without the basketball. Can you just talk about the chemistry? This offense, especially with the graduation of a key group of seniors last year, still kind of getting a feel for each other, but how are things coming?
It's coming along, but first, not a lot of us have played together, so it's good to get out and play together, but it's coming together. The chemistry's starting to hit. Everyone's starting to settle in and do their job.
Let's also talk defense, because the game is played at both ends of the court. Now, I know they haven't been the highest offensive teams that you played through the first 5 games. You're going to get a test tonight against St. Francis, but you've been doing the job at the defensive end. You've held all but one team to under 40 points. How's the defensive end of things coming?
It's coming along. It wasn't greatest at the start, but we're starting to put it together, starting to talk, starting to feel each other out, how each other play, so it's coming together. You
mentioned starting to talk. I know that's been a focus of the practices I've stopped by. Coach Layman stops practice at least a couple of times to make sure everybody knows what they're doing. It's not enough for one guy to do it. Everybody has to be moving in sync. Is it getting easier?
Yeah, it's getting easier. We have guys starting to step up, talking more, and that makes it easier for everyone else knowing what's going on and who's got who, and just being on the same page with one another is important.
As an underclassman, still kind of getting used to things, has there been anybody, maybe one of the upperclassmen, that maybe has taken you under their wing, kind of showed you the tricks of the trade?
Yeah, there's been a couple of them. Jordan Wright, Cleo Ligon, Logan Hutchison. They've been big for me, just taking me under their wing, telling me how to play, showing me how to play, and just getting me relaxed and ready to go.
Being an underclassman, I'm sure the coaching staff had a chat with you before the season even started. What did they tell you they wanted your role to be?
I just have to play my game, be ready to give whatever I need to be, whether it's scoring, rebounding, playing defense, sharing the ball, bringing the ball off the court, whatever I have to do to help out the team in the best way.
Now, the term is student athlete. You have to crack a book, got to stay eligible to stay in the uniform. Care to share your GPA with us?
It's ranging in the 3.8, 3.9, trying to get it up to the 4.0, but it's there.
What's your favorite subject?
Math, for sure.
Now, we talked about this earlier. I went through Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, just a couple of years ago before I graduated, but you are taking advanced courses. You're talking trig, you're talking calc. Is that correct?
That's what I want to get up to in the next couple of years.
So if I come back and do an interview with you in, say, 10, 15 years, what's the dream job for you?
I want to be an engineer, so I want to go to Toledo for a couple of years and get my degree there and then find a job in engineering.
And then, of course, Coach Layman said off mic before we started the interview, too, he wants you to come back and be a friend of the program. You know, a nice addition, maybe a new gym with your name over it. Does that sound like a good deal?
That'd be nice.
In all seriousness, we're not going to graduate you too soon. Most important game, St. Francis. You had a chance to watch them on Saturday. What's the scout?
The guards are really quick. Bigs are big, so we're going to have to come out on our A game and rebound and play tough.
Do you want to run with them, or do you want to slow things down?
Well, they're quick, so we're going to have a healthy balance between the two and just play our game.
There you go. Baby Bears porridge, just right.
Josiah Schlatter giving away tonight's scout. Good luck, not just tonight, but the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Josiah Schlatter, our player profile. Don't you go anywhere. More of the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show continues right after this. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
The Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show wraps up as we get set for the championship game of the 2025 Grube Holiday Classic. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller. 6-0 Defiance against 6-0 St. Francis of Toledo. As we are approaching time for the national anthem, as the colors have been dropped at just near center court. And there you see the Bulldogs lining up along their sideline as St. Francis is out along their free throw line. And there just to the right you see the officiating crew. And that's a different shot from the mezzanine. We can tell you the officials here this evening are Jeff Ressler, Dylan Woods, and Vince Walensky. The national anthem about to take place here. Good crowd here on hand. As the national anthem brought to you by our underwriter, the Defiance County Veterans Office. Proud to support local veterans and their families, connecting them with resources that they're available to them. If you'd like to learn more, log on to defiance-county.com/veterans office. Again, the national anthem courtesy of the Defiance County Veterans Office. Proud to support local veterans and their families. If you'd like more information about what resources might be available to you as a veteran or a family member of a veteran, you can also give them a call at 419-782-6861. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by Northwest State Community College. Your key to great career opportunities begins with great education at Northwest State. Visit northweststate.edu or call 419-267-1320 today. Let's start with the hosts, the home team, the Defiance Bulldogs. Scoop, fire away.
Well, I think for Coach Brinn Layman's team, they need to attack the rim. They need to play downhill, be the aggressor coming out there, especially at that offensive end, trying to go maybe inside out, establish some points in the paint early. I think the second key tonight for the Bulldogs, they're going to have to rebound. This is a St. Francis team that has a lot of length, a lot of athleticism, a lot of guys looking to play at the next level. It's going to be really important for the Bulldogs to neutralize the rebounds, try to win that second chance points battle. If the Bulldogs can execute these areas, they can remain unbeaten on the season and claim the Grube Holiday Classic here at the Dog Pound.
On the flip side, for St. Francis, they are loaded with a ton of Division I talent.
Yeah, they really are. You know, they're so deep as well. And I think for the Knights, they want to establish the paint. You know, that's where basketball games are typically won, especially when you have two really good teams squaring off. So they need to get points in the paint. They need to use their length, athleticism to get plenty of touches on that low block. I think the second thing is, and we alluded to it, second chance points. It's so difficult when you have athlete after athlete on the floor for St. Francis. Not only can their bigs rebound, their guards are very quick. They do a great job of going to the rim. Bulldogs are going to have to really do a great job of checking out, because St. Francis would love to remain unbeaten and claim back-to-back Grube Holiday Classic Tournament Championships.
Time for a look at your starters, brought to you by Baker Schindler Company. Baker Schindler Company, serving the area for over 100 years with the highest quality products and services. Baker-Schindler.com. Let's start with the hosts, Defiance Bulldogs, 6-0 on the season, led by head coach Brinn Layman. No surprises, Logan Hutchinson, primarily a defensive point guard. There you see Jordan Wright, averaging double digits per ball game at just under double digits at 9.8. Josiah Schlatter has dropped from 16 to about 12. Khalil Ligon is the big man. He will come out and face the basket, though, but as he goes, so goes his team, 17 points per game. And Garrisonetti, the 6'6 senior, doesn't average a ton of points, but over 10 rebounds per contest. On the flip side, for the St. Francis Knights, pick your poison. As a long three by Ligon, in and out, and there's the height that we expect to pay dividends for the Knights. Horton with the board, the outlet, and a little too aggressive. That is, I believe it's Brown. Check what that's Polanitz with the turnover. Chris Polanitz, hard to believe, just a freshman, and he is averaging 10 points per ball game. They all get theirs. Raheem Brown, again Brown, entering the ball game at just over 14 points per contest. Trayson Chenault entered the tournament on Saturday, averaging under 4 points per ball game. He absolutely exploded as Ligon, with another great look, can't get it to fall. Again, Trayson Chenault had a tremendous afternoon with 11 points. He could have had more. And then Jamison Heck, the straw that stirs the drink. He is waiting for an offer, hoping to get one from the Citadel. Basically the entire GLIAC and GMAC at the D2 levels have offered. He averages 14 points. He averages almost 5 rebounds and almost 5 assists per ball game.
Well, I've seen Jamison Heck the last 4 years now, and here's a great lead and a slam right away as the Knights execute to perfection.
Big man to big man, Horton to Chenault. Well, I talked again, you heard it on the pregame with Coach Layman, the incredible height, but not just the height, the physicality that St. Francis can bring. Up top, Schlatter, he's going to have a night from beyond the arc. Ligon with the board. He's got a little bit more size to him than Chenault does, but that's going to be an interesting matchup of athlete on athlete. Ligon puts it on the floor, great pump, drives in, and we're tied at 2.
Beautiful move by Khalil Ligon that time to take his man off the dribble there. Nifty finish from the baseline.
Stopping, popping, middle of the paint. Horton with the board, goes up with the baby hook and left it short. Well, you don't see that often.
Oh, then an unforced turnover here by Defiance as they throw it out of bounds in the backcourt after St. Francis really had all 5 guys retreating to the defensive end.
Instead, the Knights will come into the front court. The inbounds comes to Heck. He is listed at 5'9". You think that might be a little generous, but I can tell you this much. What's the old phrase? It's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the fight in the dog. As posting up and missing the bunny. Boy, and Horton smacks his hands together. That's 2 point-blank shots he's missed.
Yeah, they've left a few points on the table early. They've got those touches in the paint where they want to establish, but they just have not finished.
Dre Singleton is into the ball game for the Bulldogs. Singleton had 15 points in the tournament opener for Defiance. Schlatter drives. Look at this. Heat check and maybe a little too amped up. Ball loose in the paint. Singleton picks it up, leans in a little too hard, and Horton cleans up underneath. Good transition D right now, though, by the Bulldogs. The drive, the dish, the three just a bit short. Horton with another board. He wants his first 2 of the game, and he can't get it. Wondering what he's got to do. That's the 3rd from point-blank range, and that's going to be a double dribble.
Tough start here for Horton. The fact he's got 3 touches there really at ground zero.
Yep.
And when he gets it in there, remember, he comes in shooting over 80% from the field, so he's a guy that finishes all the time, but he's had 3 that have rimmed out. Count remains even at 2 apiece.
Right, picking up his dribble. Singleton kicks it out. Ligon, is he feeling it? In and out. Well, it's one thing to try to scout for it, Scoop, but you just can't practice for it if you don't have it, and that's just a nifty baseline drive by Raheem Brown. And that's how do you attack, how do you counter just in general the incredible height that St. Francis have. They have a 6'7", a 6'9", and 2 6'11" players.
Well, you can't go to the local college and replicate that type of height. So there's a Premier Bank 3 there. Great ball movement, great finish that time by Jordan Wright. And Defiance has their first lead of the night.
Substitutions about to check in for Brinn Layman and company. Brez Ziffel finally back after battling a bit of a knee injury. Defense pushing the ball out. Garrison Smitty at about 6'6". He's going to sag off as they're using Horton to screen. Well, that's physical play. Nicely done on defense by Singleton. Extends that ball, almost banked in by Heck. Quick outlet, rare fast break opportunity. Here comes the super sophomore, and maybe just a bit too amped up. Schlatter hustling back. It's 3-on-3. Heck stops, pops a little long, and right now I don't think it's both teams struggling offensively as much as I think it's both teams really shining defensively.
They really are, and Defiance especially being so physical. They've rerouted St. Francis on those dribble drives. They've bodied up a really nice job. They haven't backed down for the paint.
Oh, behind the back pass, fading away, Smitty. There is the tip-in. Heads up play by the senior Dre Singleton.
Great job by Defiance. Now gone on a 5-0 run after being knotted up at or down 2-4.
We will keep it here, trying to get everything settled as we may or may not be joined by a couple of Anthony Wayne players. They tried to come up, and again, our apologies to Coach Arthur. We had to immediately go into our pregame for game number 2, although I will say this, Coach Arthur, appreciate the fact that you listened and actually sent a couple guys up. But in a tournament like this, we had to move at lightning speed, but we're hoping that Coach and maybe his guys actually come up and join us. And if not, we'll just send them well wishes on the drive back over on 24. But they picked up a big win against BG.
Boy, they looked really good. They just really clicked in all phases of the game. I thought their offense, defense, rebound, and what I call special teams, their out-of-bounds sets, their out-of-bounds defense, I mean, they just executed at a high level for 32 minutes. That ride back to White House should be a sweet one here tonight.
He was sending up Cole Biedenharm, who had 10 points on the night, and Blake Robeson, who finished with 11, but he had 11 at the half.
There's a good finish that time by Alan Horton. The junior comes in, averaging over 11 points a game, one of 4 nights to average double digits.
Almost an over and back. Nice save by Ligon, but look at how far the top of this defense is coming out for St. Francis.
Well, you can see Coach Kashmerick made a statement during that last time out to step up the aggressiveness and physicality.
Wright tried the 3 from the right side, nothing doing. And here comes Heck, slowing it down. Nobody's picked him up. He'll launch a 3. Off the heel of the iron. Wow, skying to pull that one down. Nifty board by Will Horvath. At the other end, Ligon tries to drive baseline, spins into a double team, and throws it into the first row of the stands.
Well, both teams right now, Brent, doing a great job in transition defense. Both teams have looked to push when they've had opportunities, but the transition defense has been tremendous, and this 7-6 score very indicative of the defense we've seen here tonight.
At the same time, there's been tempo. It's not as if it's been a slow half-court 7-6 style of game, but as we talked about, both teams' defenses, and in particular transition defenses, have been up to the task. And here into the half court, Horton drop steps into the paint, count it, and one coming. That was a D1 move.
It really was, and you noticed since Coach Kasberick called that timeout, next two possessions, they get touches to Alan Horton down there in the block, and that time just no denying the big man. He misses on the end one. That ball's going to go off St. Francis. Defiance will get a team rebound. But the Knights have retaken the lead here, 8-7.
Horton with half of his team's points in the early going. Plenty of touches. Wright coming off somewhat of a phantom Ligon screen as he rolled, but they can't find him. Schlatter releases, Ligon for three. It's short. One and done as checking into the ball game. Jermaine Polk, number 45. He's going to play Division I football somewhere. You haven't noticed, he's a pretty sizable young man.
Right now, Ligon doing all he can with Horton down there, trying to bump him off the low block.
And on the other block, it's Brez Zipfel trying to cover Polk. Zipfel's giving up, probably I'd say almost a half a foot. And your guess is as good as mine, but I'm going to say at least 20 pounds, if not more.
Yeah, I'd say that's very conservative, 20 pounds there, but both standout football players in their own right.
Foul was charged against Horvath. His first, team foul number 2. 1 minute left to go, first quarter. Good defense by Wright. Great switch by Ligon, but they lose the big man, and Horton is fouled. And he'll head to the charity stripe, and immediately Garrison Smitty is about to check back in for Defiance.
Well, that's great fundamental offense that time by St. Francis. A simple pick and roll, but what they did, they made it a two-man game. They kind of cleared out that right side, and when you switch off, that's going to create a mismatch for Horton. He's so good about burying his guy down there in the low block. He's going to seal that guy. He's going to back him in. Unfortunately for Horton, he comes up empty on the first of two. Horton just a 59% free throw shooter.
He hits 1 of 2 here. He's got 5 of his team's 9 as the Knights enjoying a 2-point lead. Under a minute left to go in the first quarter. Hutch is back in the ball game. Right. Schlatter, Hutchison playing a little catch around the perimeter. Good ball reversal, good ball movement. Wright keeping his dribble. He'll back it out. Zipfel will launch for 3. Got it! That's not normally his shot, but they left him open, and Defiance retakes the lead.
Premier Bank 3 for Zipfel. We've had 3 lead changes here in this opening quarter. Now Defiance with the opportunity to play for the last shot, and I like this because the Bulldogs will also get the ball to start the second quarter, so a 2 for none here coming up. We'll see if they can cash in.
They got to get their offense moving. Just 6 seconds left on the clock. It's stalling out. Right, dribbles, dishes, Schlatter. Got it! That'll be the final shot of the quarter. Josiah Schlatter with the 3rd from distance for the Bulldogs, and look at this. Defiance 13, St. Francis 9. And if the first 8 minutes are any indication of how this game's going to go, you want to stick around. We'll take a 60-second break. Second quarter when we come back. Championship game of the 2025 Grube Holiday Classic on DCTV Sports.
Visit Mark Moats Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Moats Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmoatsford.com.
Second quarter begins. We welcome you back to the Dog Pound, championship game of the 2025 Grube Holiday Classic. Host Defiance 6-0, leading St. Francis also 6-0, 13-9. Doing it primarily offensively with the 3-ball in that first quarter. Scoop 3 trays from 3 different players.
And 2 of those 3 trays in the last minute of that quarter to give Defiance a 6-0 run. And their largest lead of the ball game at 13-9.
Trying to add to it. Singleton thought about driving. A little congested on the left wing. Ziffel with one of those threes. Will get rid of it to his big man. Oh, he dropped it down low, and boy, did he drew a break there. He almost was stripped, but instead it's going to be a foul on reserve guard Michael Yates.
Yeah, that's a no-no, but that time he got bailed out as Yates got a little bit too much of the arm there. Defiance will reset it.
First foul, both personal and team. They pop, far corner. Good looking 3, but it's off the heel of the iron by Singleton. Here comes Heck. Cross court pass to Yates. Boy, the ball movement is so sharp for the Knights. Polk pops out. Finds Horton in the low block. Smitty bodying him up. That's just a tough move, but did he walk? They're going to call a foul. And that's Coach Brinn Layman, you saw the reaction there, Scoop. He disagreed.
Yeah, that's the reason he walked. A little bit too much contact, but Coach Brinn Layman going to be happy with that. They're doing an excellent job of not backing down. The physicality has been every there and some for Defiance. And away from the noise inside, Logan Hutchinson doing a lights-out job right now on Jamison Heck, the 4-year starter for St. Francis.
Heck with a rare touch. They go down low to Horton. He is displacing Smitty, and he's blocked from behind, or do we have a foul? Who's it on? The official's not sure. I think it's going to be Brez Zipfel, and it is. That'll be his first.
You know, and that's a foul that Coach Layman probably not going to like, but I think he's going to live with. I mean, Zipfel did everything right. He came in, doubled down there, had a lot of basketball, but he had a little bit of arm as well. But this time, Alan Horton comes in with the first of 2. And St. Francis strikes first here in the second quarter.
He's 2 of 4 right now from the line tonight and makes it 3 of 5. Using all the iron. Knights have pulled back to within a pair. Boy, what an acid test here this evening for the Bulldogs. Singleton on the drive. Bounce pass. Smitty goes in, and Horton caught a piece of him. That is just best on best. You got 2 Division I athletes. Smitty is going to Butler to pitch. Horton, take your pick. He just received an offer from the University of Toledo Saturday night to go along with Youngstown State. He is holding. He is in no rush right now as Smitty, with a deep breath, releases, and the lefty connects on his first. And there's no reason that Horton should rush. Listen to this list, Scoop. Strong interest, not just feelers, strong interest from Notre Dame, Northwestern, Pittsburgh, not to mention other teams in the MAC, Miami of Ohio, Western Michigan, Wright State, and Indiana State out of the Missouri Valley. And this young man's stock can only grow higher.
Yeah, I've seen him play for several years now. He started out at Sylvania Northviews, played the last couple of years here for the Knights.
Wow. One and done. Ligon in. He's got to be careful with 2 fouls. Up 15-11. Wright has picked up his dribble. Singleton puts it on the floor, stops and pops from the free throw line. That's a sweet-looking J.
Good-looking move that time by Singleton, who was able to make that quick dribble move to his left. Great-looking mid-range jumper.
Polk in the high blocks. Around the world it kicks out, and Horton can't control it. Out of bounds. I don't know that you could have scripted a much better, first 13 minutes of a ball game than Brinn Layman has for his squad right now.
But their game plan has been flawless to this point. Their kids have come out and executed to T. And boy, with the presence of Singleton out there, this is a tough unit to stop.
They'll reverse it. Wright feeling it from 3. Got it! Another Premier Bank 3, and they're raining from beyond the arc for Defiance.
Tremendous floor spacing, tremendous ball movement, and Jordan Wright there with that premier bank three. And who would have thought we'd have this much separation at any time during this game? Defiance right now, great opening 11 minutes.
Into the far corner, a little bit of a hip check, Singleton, and it's enough to dislodge the basketball. Wright slows it down. He's really keeping an eye on Polnitz coming up behind him. They'll reverse it. This is a heat check, left wing. Boy, he was feeling it, and he pulled the trigger, but Singleton a little long.
That would have took the roof off the house right here if that would have went in. Great look off the back of the iron.
Look at Hutch's defense on the ball. Oh, wow, that is a shot to the chin. Horton got away with one, and we've got a foul down low, and I believe this is going to go against Singleton.
Well, how about the move by Raheem Brown, who's had to really work just to get his hands on the basketball here tonight. But that time, a quick, strong move to the middle. Great finish with the left hand off the window. And a much-needed bucket that time by the Knights to end a 7-0 Defiance run.
Free throw is up and a little long. Brown frustrated with himself. Lead remains 7. Not quite halfway through the second quarter. And are the Bulldogs going to slow it down a bit? This is a sagging man-to-man defense. Smitty kicks it to the top of the key. They'll reset. Spacing so crucial for this Defiance offense. That's good ball movement. Smitty doesn't want it, though, from the baseline. Up top, Schlatter does, although he'll release. And Defiance in no rush right now. Well, I thought Wright might do a crossover. It looked like he was trying to size up Heck, but nothing doing. Schlatter. Boy, they are so quick. Ligon on the drive, and that's going to be the big man's third. And Brinn Layman's got to go to the bench.
Credit St. Francis for that time. Excellent half-court defense. They're in a 2-3 zone, kind of a matchup, so to speak.
Yep.
But a great job of stepping in, taking a charge. Boy, that's a big play. That's one of those plays that doesn't show up in the stat book, but certainly going to show up on the scoreboard.
Scoop, it was a 2-3, but the top half of it looked like it was almost man. Anybody above the free throw line looked like they were coming up and matching up, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, that was a matchup. And, again, they did an excellent job of that. That's something that Coach Kashmerick loves to do. They'll change defenses. You'll see multiple defenses tonight, but that one well disguised. And Defiance just really struggled to get the ball inside. And once they did, wow, what a heady play there to take that charge.
Score remains 20-13. Coming up on 3.5 left to go in the first half. And St. Francis going to take a little time now and show some patience in their pattern offense.
St. Francis comes in scoring over 65 per game, but held to just 13 points here.
Shot was left short by Brown, and it goes off his fingertips and out of bounds.
There's that physicality by Defiance. They have not shied away. They've done a great job of getting ball pressure and not allowing those straight line drives.
We got a whistle here. Do we have a clock issue?
Yeah, I believe the clock did not start there. It's the official spot that they'll reset it side out of bounds. 3:18. That's what it was when they brought the ball up the floor.
So it's running now. Wright working east-west. Singleton on the drive. Got a little high with it. Stolen away. They got to hustle and get back, and Singleton reached in and fouled him. Or did he?
Nope, it's
going to be a travel.
This time the travel happened before the foul. So both teams trade turnovers.
Coming up on 3 minutes left to go. A basket here. Get that back up to 9 points, possibly 10 if you drain a three. Been a little bit stagnant offensively. And just as I say that, the big man on the move. And second look, point blank, and Singleton couldn't get that to fall. And here comes St. Francis, middle of the paint. Count it, and one coming.
Great job by the Knights. One of the few times Defiance has lacked their transition defense. They just did not stop the basketball. By the time they did, deep in the lane, and now and one opportunity to come for St. Francis. Boy, that's a big bucket. Instead of being down 9, they cut it to
well, Polanitz is not a great free throw shooter, sub 50%, but he drains this one. And it has been a while since Defiance has scored. Lead cut to 4. Right, stutter steps, thought about it. They get it right back to him, and he's going to launch a 3 around the world once, twice, and it rims out. And you could hear the collective groan of Defiance fans, and now we're going to have an over the back, and I believe it's going to go against Smitty.
My goodness, that thing was in multiple times, but just kept spinning around the rim.
That will send Horton back to the other end of the gym for a pair. Again, just a 59% free throw shooter. He has drained his only 2 in this quarter. He's 3 for 5. Short. Wow. Oh, here we go again. Coming up on 2 minutes left to go. Schlatter releases. Boy, Wright thinks about it every time. He's still probably smarting from that last one. Wright cut off at the free throw line. Schlatter can drain him from there, and was he fouled? Yes, he was on the shot. A look of stunned disbelief coming from, I'm trying to get a number. They're wearing dark on dark. It's going to be Polanitz. That's his first, but that will send Schlatter to the charity stripe for 3. Sophomore drains his first.
Yeah, that's a breakdown by that St. Francis defense. That's a no-no fouling a jump shooter, especially on a 3. And all it was, he got him on the wrist there. Wasn't a lot of contact, but that's a point of emphasis. And right now, Schlatter is able to connect on the first 2. So this has been the first points in well over a couple minutes here for Defiance.
Well, he's got all 3 of them. He's an excellent free throw shooter at 79%, and Defiance needed him there. 23-16, under 2 left to go. And there you see Coach Kashmarek shouting out the instructions to his team. Just so much talent. Division I loaded, whether it's basketball, football, or baseball, on the St. Francis roster. I asked him where this team ranks. Certainly got to be in the top 5 of those that he's coached. Has a long 3, just a bit short. And the heads-up play by Schlatter and Wright to just kind of box out and allow it to go out of bounds. And he said top 2.
That's saying something, too, because he had some awfully good teams there at
Cardinals Stretch.
Where they had 3 district championships, 3 TAC championships, regional champs back in 2019, made it all the way down to the Schottenstein Center before falling just a little bit short in the state semis. But boy, that's with some pretty good company if this is one of the top 2.
Does this surprise you that Defiance is going to spread the court and take the air out of the ball with well over a minute left to go?
It does a little bit, but I certainly understand what they're doing, maybe trying to lull them asleep, get a good look. And
they got one there, and that Schlatter shot. It's just off the right side, and I believe Zippel's going to be guilty coming over the back of Jamison Heck.
Yeah, the only thing I see there with that slowing it down, you got a guy with 3 fouls, obviously, and Ligon, and you also, St. Francis had a foul to give. You're in the penalty, so I can see why they wanted to shorten it down, but it kind of backfires. They had a good look. But now Jamison Heck will head to the stripe to shoot a pair.
69% on the season as he drains his first. Chance to cut into the deficit with the clock stopped.
Well, this guy was all track when there was a Three Rivers Athletic Conference before that disbanded a couple years ago, but he's been all conference all 3 of his years. Certainly will be number 4 here.
Oh, without question. Averaging double figures, although that's just his first point of the night. Came into tonight averaging 14, and again, Defiance is going to spread the court and just take the air out of the ball. And a timeout being called by Coach Layman. And I believe this is a 30-second variety, so we'll keep it here. Tell you a little bit about Jamison Heck. 5'9", maybe a little gracious, up and in to lift at 5 every morning. I asked Coach Kashmerek, I said, with the Citadel potentially being an offer, I said, is he okay with the discipline that a military institution would require? And he goes, he probably will be up and in before the first person. He'll say, who's the first person in? And if they're in at 3:30, he'll be in at 3. This young man has a 4.3 GPA, so he's better than a straight-A student. And Scoop, he plans on graduating through the spring season with 12 varsity letters.
Well, I told you, the first thing I told you I got here tonight, I am looking forward to seeing Jamison Heck play. I've seen him 4 years now. He's such a competitor. Obviously, he's got a strong work ethic. He comes in averaging over 6 assists per ball game. A guy that's shooting nearly 50% from beyond the arc on the season. Double-digit score. And then you mentioned the student part of student athlete as well.
Zippel, quadruple teamed, and slashing in to try and get the dunk, nothing doing. Zippel is there. Again, another battle for the ball, and it kicks out. A rare fast break opportunity for the Knights, but 4 white jerseys get back. 8 seconds left to go, and I'm not sure they're aware of it. Heck, will he cross over inside the arc? Dishes down low, a lot of contact. Heck again, they're going to wave it off. It wouldn't have counted even if it had gone. What a tremendous first half of basketball, and the hosts continue to play at an intense level as the Bulldogs will take a 23-17 lead into their respective locker rooms. We will take a 2-minute break, a 2-minute timeout. Back with your Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding, 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com. Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com.
Back at the Dog Pound, we are at the intermission of the championship game. Boy, it did not disappoint. Tremendous first 16 seconds as the host Bulldogs of Defiance taking a lead into the locker room right now, 23-17, as both the Bulldogs and the Knights of St. Francis at 6-0. Somebody's going to get their first loss here in about another 60 minutes. But there was a game before this one tonight, the Consolation Championship, and it was all Anthony Wayne from the first tip, if indeed you can have more than one tip off, and the final buzzer, 78-25 as they take care of Bowling Green. And we've got a couple of standout players here. I'm looking down. Mr. Robeson, you had 11. Blake Robeson and Cole Biedenharn, correct?
There we go.
I'd been working on that. I did talk to Jay Gast a little bit because yours, is that German? Is that Polish? What is the national?
Don't really know, to be honest.
It's a winning name is what it is. It's a winning name as he had 10 tonight. Gentlemen, I guess let's start first things first. You knew that you're going to have a little bit of a layoff with Christmas coming up. How important was it to kind of get the taste of Saturday out of your mouth and go into the break with a victory?
Yeah, I mean, it feels really good. Saturday we played a really tough team. We stuck around in the first half, kind of let it get away from us in the second. But, yeah, today bouncing back, playing as a team again, felt really good to get a good win, yeah.
Now, a little bit unique because normally this tournament is played on back-to-back days, and with the way the calendar fell and with Christmas falling in the middle of the week, you had Saturday, then Sunday off, and then back here on a Monday night. Now, Coach Arthur said you weren't taking Sunday off. You were going to practice. Right. What was Sunday comprised of for you?
Yeah, just using Sunday as, a good reset for us because, like I said, Saturday, kind of got away from us. So using Sunday as a reset to come in here, handle business. So it was good.
And, Blake, your guys' defense tonight was stellar. I had you unofficially 18 points from your defense. Talk about your defense tonight, how important that was for you guys to get out of the gates like you did.
Yeah, I mean, we take pride in our defense. It's one thing that, we really want to do good every game. And, if we hold teams under 35, we get B-dubs. So it's always good to get out there, hold teams under that so we get some good food.
Well, at least you're honest. We now know that Coach will bribe them with food. Right. B-dubs, is that the only thing, or is that what you guys demand?
Thursday they have a good deal on wings, so we hold them under 35. We usually get some wings on Thursday.
Nice wings.
All right, so fantastic. Let's talk a little bit about your guys' role coming into this season. And, Cole, let's start with you. What did the coaching staff tell you they wanted it to be this year?
Just like a leader. Like me and Blake, I feel like we're very good leaders. I feel like we lead the team very well.
Vocal?
Yeah, I feel like we're very vocal. I feel like we like to spread the ball around, let everybody eat, and yeah, we also like to go get ours though too.
Well, he raises a good point though. Lots of times you see a team that maybe has one, possibly two high point men, and then everybody else kind of gets caught just standing around. They're there to fill out a roster. You guys are the perfect example. You can share the ball and everybody can get theirs. Is that a fair way to put it?
Yeah, I mean, I trust everyone out on that court every day. There's not a single guy out there I wouldn't trust to shoot the ball. So just, having good trust in your teammates, it's a good thing. I mean, you get good results, obviously.
And, Blake, last year you logged a lot of big minutes for the Generals, and this year, obviously, they put a little bit more on your shoulders, but you see the answer to that. How big has this experience been for you this season?
I mean, it's great. I mean, I like it all. I don't think, there's nothing too big in the moment. So just going from last year to this year took, the steps I needed to. A lot of work in the offseason. So, you get results for that.
All right, so springs are going to be coming up here, styling in the cap and gown, diplomas in hands. I know you both want to play at the next level. I know you're getting sniffs. Any idea where you may end up, or is that process still playing itself out?
Not really. Just still taking in the whole recruiting process.
Enjoy it, though, right?
Yep.
You should be having fun with it,
yeah,
right?
A lot of fun.
Right. Yeah, it's always fun to go down and visits. It's always something you dream of as a kid. So, just taking it all in little by little. Coaches will text you after games. It's always a good feeling. So, it's fun.
They're in demand, Scoop. You remember a time like that in your career?
I don't think I was in such high demand. We did not have 50-point wins when we were playing, so hats off to these two young men. They've really had a fine tournament here, and looking forward to some big things from you guys down the stretch here as well.
Guys, congratulations not just tonight. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Again, a couple of class gentlemen coming up to join us. A big win tonight as Anthony Wayne knocks off Bowling Green 78-25. We're going to take a quick timeout. Back with more of the Midwest Federal Credit Union Community Credit Union show right after this on DCTV Sports.
Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com.
Back at the Dog Pound as the Midwest Community Credit Federal, I just can't say it, the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. Can you guys say that? It just doesn't roll off the tongue, Barry.
I don't even want to try.
Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, though, we can tell you over 70 years of experience, whether it's Brian, Defiance, or Napoleon, check them out online. Coach Arthur joining us right now. Two very well-spoken individuals and representatives of your program, but I'll ask you the same thing that I asked them. You had a rarity this season. Instead of coming back the next day, you had 24 hours in between games. What was your focus on Sunday getting ready for tonight?
Just get back to what we do. make sure we eliminate some of the mistakes. You can't eliminate everything all at once, but you can eliminate one or two. So we really looked at that, watched the film. After that, we put our focus on Bowling Green and getting ready. They shoot a lot of threes. So we had to make sure we were there. I believe it was a season low for them in 3 threes made today. But that was our big focus for them, is make them go inside the paint a little bit more, and don't give them those open opportunities. It also helps when 2 of the pretty good shooters get in foul trouble a little bit. So that definitely voted in our favor there, But it was a focus that everybody took to heart. It's ensuring that no one's getting a wide open look, and if it is, it's contested.
And, Coach, talk a little bit about this Grube Holiday Classic. You get into a tournament like this, you're actually kind of giving up a home game, but you guys have been in this multiple years. Talk about the importance of a tournament like this for you guys.
Just gives us an opportunity to play like a playoff type game, going into a different environment. This is a beautiful gym. I mean, everybody loves to play here at Defiance. So it just gives us a different look instead of just going to, and I don't mean just, but going to Perrysburg. That's normal. But this is kind of more like a playoff action type game. It's get everything ready the way you need to get it ready. Maybe it's a different time, a 6 o'clock time, so it just helps us get ready for later in the year.
All right, so the question is now, after you feed them, of course, how much downtime do you take before you start ramping things back up and really look at yourself before you get back onto the schedule?
So we talked about that. A big thing is we're going to give them tomorrow off. They're going to get Christmas off, and then we're going to be right back at it on the 26th. We have a big game with start on the 30th, so it's time to prepare and get ready for that.
Coach, we appreciate you making yourself available. Congratulations and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Coach Arthur joining us as we're going to take a 30-second break. We're going to put a wrap on the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show right after this on DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Back at the Dog Pound, buzzer sounds. 8 minutes put up on the scoreboard clock. Second half about to get underway as Defiance leading St. Francis 23-17. The Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. Let's break down your scoring here as we'll get you everything. Jamison Heck, starting point guard for the Knights, has yet to score a basket from the floor. Josiah Schlatter stops and pops. There's no way this guy is a sophomore. There's just no way.
Has so much confidence, He's not afraid of the moment. He's not afraid to take the big shot. Playing with a lot of courage, and what a great start after a fantastic first half by the Bulldogs.
Balance, but the big difference in that first half, 7 bench points for Defiance. Half a dozen each for Wright, Schlatter, a deuce apiece for Ligon and Smitty. Ligon is in foul trouble, and I don't see him on the floor right now to start the second half. So Brinn Layman is going to be very cautious how he uses his big man and captain as they're coming out in a zone. And just as I say that, flash somebody to the high blocks. Brown nails the 15-footer and the contact.
Great look that time by Brown, and a similar call we saw in the first half. Not a lot of contact, but got him on the wrist. That's a no-no, point of emphasis. So great answer. And right now, Raheem Brown with the chance to give his team the and one and creep a little bit closer. He connects, a lead down to 5 for Defiance.
High point man for the Knights at the half was starting center Alan Horton with 7. 4 points for Brown, 3 for Polnitz, 2 for Chenault, and only 1 for Heck. And this was a St. Francis team that entered tonight's scoop with 4 players averaging double figures.
Yeah, hard to believe they scored just 17 points there in that opening half. They have so many proven scores, so much depth, but yet points were at a premium, even though there was a lot of tempo in that opening 16 minutes.
Right now trying to take maybe a little bit of a more cautious half-court approach offensively. And we've got a whistle.
I think that's just going to be a kick ball there off of St. Francis. So Defiance with a baseline out of bounds opportunity.
Wright swings it to the near corner. Schlatter. Boy, they are really identifying number 10 now. He stung them in the first half. Ball movement maybe not quite as sharp for Defiance either. And what do we got here? I'm trying to see if the ball drops below the free throw line. This is a sagging man-to-man.
You got a lot of help. They're really 2 passes away. They're really sagging to the middle.
Well, Wright went at the big 6'9" center and tries to force it down low. Look at Heck. A rare fast break opportunity for the Knights. On the drive, offensive foul. Tremendous job to get back and get set by Logan Hutchinson.
That's as good a defensive play as you're going to see anywhere. We talked about Logan Hutchinson's defense the first half. He comes in there. Wow, he took a hit that time, but great positioning. Easy call for the officials. But, boy, that's a big play. That's going to result in a St. Francis turnover. You know, he was a big reason why Jamison Heck only had 1 point in that opening 16 minutes.
He's just sticky. Pump fake on the drive, and Singleton cut off. But both these teams, again, Defiance feels comfortable with the game in the 50s. Coach Kashmerick for St. Francis said just 1 point more, but they like it in the 60s. They can win a lower scoring game. But I'm not so sure we're going to have a game that even gets to 50. Oh, great wraparound pass. Smitty finds Singleton post to post.
Great find by Smitty that time from one post to the other. Points in the paint for Defiance. And who would have thought that, given the size they're giving up down low?
Largest lead of the game for the Bulldogs, and we're going to have a reach-in foul. And I think it's Jay Wright. By the look on his face, it is.
Yeah, this matches that 20-13 lead that they had midway through that second quarter. But wow, the defense has really shined, and St. Francis trying to figure out how they can jumpstart this offense that's been held to 20 points here for almost 20 minutes of this contest.
Lob pass into Heck. Jump stop, boy, lots of contact. Leaning in, Polnitz can't find the range. The tap up by Polk. Horton, there's where that height that you just can't compete against comes into play.
Yeah, you saw him play above the rim right there with a couple putbacks. The second one by Horton up and in. So second chance points, gets the lead back down to 5 once again.
27-22. Look at this, Zippel feeling it. He's short, but he follows. Goes up strong and gets a facial. Oh, and Horton's going to be guilty of the foul.
Yeah, that time they missed a check out on Zippel. Zippel shot clearly short, but I like what Zippel did there. You know, when you're a shooter, you know better than anybody else where that rebound's going to be had. So he did a nice job. You know, a shot, as you tell your guys, is a pass to yourself. Go get it. That's exactly what Zippel did. Now he gets rewarded. The first of 2 up and in for the senior.
Well, it is a small sample size for Breslin Zippel, but he is a perfect 4 for 4 on the young season right now. Told me earlier tonight he's thinking about staying home and playing baseball at Defiance College, although he has yet to make a final decision. Lead is 6, 28-22. Nice drive. Oh, stop and pop instead. Defiance's defense is just giving all kinds of fits to St. Francis, and there's a steal. Quick hands by Jordan Wright.
Excellent job by Jordan Wright once again. Another St. Francis turnover, but a good defense by Jamison Heck at the other end. He gets a near steal, gets the deflection out of bounds. Defiance, again, just kind of slowing things down a little bit here in the half court.
Bounce pass Smitty. They run a baseline cut. Schlatter, that pass was just a little bit at his feet. And here come the Knights. Quickly up the far side. Brown releases it. Horton in the high blocks. Polk in the low blocks. And Zippel comes right down on the big man. Brez now with 3.
Great floor spacing that time by St. Francis. They got the ball to the big man, Alan Horton, there at the high post, and immediately He looked down low, was able to drop a dime in there. Defiance forced a foul.
Polk to the charity stripe for the first time tonight. 67% free throw shooter.
A nice job by Polk. You have to think Coach Kazmarek wants to find a way to get him maybe a little bit more involved offensively, kind of use the Twin Towers inside, so to speak, to attack Defiance. But Defiance has really not backed down with their physicality here tonight.
Good looking free throw stroke, and it trims the deficit to 4. Singleton across half court, gets it up, hands it off to a guard. Wright really being hand-checked by Heck. Falls to his seat, releases the basketball. Look at Heck! He thought that he had knocked it out of bounds off of Wright. He's pleading his case, but a change in call is not going to come.
Tremendous defense by Heck. He nearly had the 5 count, and then he nearly had the tie-up, and he nearly had it knocked off a Defiance player. Defiance dodges the bullet, but great defense by Heck once again.
Wright cut off. Zipfel, he's still feeling it, and around the world it kicks out. Hustling into the front court. Brown now keeping a waist-high dribble. And Defiance back in that zone. Boy, Heck, who averages 14 points per game, still held to just 1. As a matter of fact, nobody in a Knights uniform yet to get into double digits. Polk had it deflected. Singleton, boy, almost in slow motion, got a little too aggressive. Would have been better to slow it down and back it out. And at the other end, that's just an easy lay-in for Brown.
Great job there by Brown, and credit St. Francis. Points from their defense, something they haven't had a lot of tonight, but that was a big Defiance slide ball turnover. Brinn Layman recognized it. He's going to burn a full timeout.
We'll take one with them. 28-26. Tight ball game. We expected nothing less. The championship match of the 2025 Grube Holiday Classic. Back with more the third quarter on DCTV Sports.
For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
Two minutes exactly left to go in the third quarter. Defiance once up by as much as, was it 7 or 8?
7 points.
Now sees their lead trimmed to just a deuce. Low scoring, defensive-oriented ball game.
Yeah, the Knights have scored 6 of the last 7 points to get within a bucket. Now the defense trying to step up and give the offense an opportunity to tie. They won't. Craig take that time and finish. As once again, Jordy Wright takes it to the rack. Good looking finish there with the teardrop.
He's got 8 on the evening. Lead back up to 4. Heck, nice dish. Uh-oh, losing. And boy, Defiance drew a huge break that Yates missed a wide open 3.
Defiance continue to do an excellent job of closing out possessions by hitting the glass, and they hold the Knights to 1 and done.
Oh, that's a tough pass, and again, Schlatter knows it. That's also just great effort by Heck.
Yeah, Heck
he is everywhere.
He's so good. You know, a lot of people talk about his offense because, you know, he averages double digits, has over 6 assists per ball game, but his defense is really where he gets it done. And another near steal by the senior.
Singleton cut off by Polk, and he just is moving, I think, a little fast right now. He's wound a bit tight, understandably. Even though you're the home team, you're probably coming into this one as a slight underdog.
Yeah, that was kind of one of those high-risk type passes. You know, I think you're better off Make St. Francis expend some energy to defensive end. Go through your continuity there. Make them play a little extra defense. But another turnover, the 4th of this quarter by the Bulldogs. We'll see if St. Francis could turn those into points at the other end.
Ball tapped away. Nice job by Wright. Those are commonly called daggers. He didn't come away with it, but he tapped it to a teammate.
Tremendous play. We're seeing tremendous effort by both teams at the defensive end.
Coming up on 30 seconds left to go in the third quarter. It appears Defiance will work for the final shot. Up by 4. Horvath, little 3-man weave with Wright and Schlatter in between the circles. They get it back to Wright. Horvath top of the key, almost lost it. They're speeding him up. Smitty. Well, I thought they were going to pass. I thought Smitty was going to come out and screen. I think there was miscommunication between guard and post. It pays off, though, for Defiance still as Horvath is Schlatter is aggressive.
Yeah, that time St. Francis a little tardy in their rotation. They had the trap up front with their guards, but the rotation a bit slow. That opened up that driving lane for Schlatter. And you know if he gets it, he's taking it there, and he's not dishing. He's taking up strong.
Almost an 80% free throw shooter. The sophomore drains both.
Now 4 straight points by the Bulldogs after St. Francis had got within 2. Now big possession right here with 13.8 to go in this third quarter.
Heck across half court trying to get the offense going. There's just 8 seconds to get a shot off. Sticky defense, and they go down low. I don't know how you lose Horton, but he gives the two-handed flush. And that's a little something for the Knights to build on as the buzzer sounds to end the third quarter. It's still a 4-point Bulldog lead, but it's a tight one, 32-28. We'll take a 90-second timeout, fourth quarter, when we come back on DCTV Sports.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
Visit Mark Moats Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Moats Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmoatsford.com.
Fourth quarter underway. Defiance with the ball and the lead. Undefeated Bulldogs at 6-0. The undefeated Knights of St. Francis at 6-0. Championship game of the 2025 Grube Holiday Classic. Nothing decided, as we've got a foul charge this one to Jermaine Polk, his first. Ligon with 3 fouls on the drive. Horton sends it back. Schlatter stops and pops from the free throw line. How good is this kid going to be?
That's a tough shot there. Quick dribble move with his left hand. That quick pull up. He elevates. Good mid-range jumper. Defiance strikes first in quarter 4. Gets the lead up to 6.
Heck just cannot get his offense jump started. They try and force it down low to Horton. Deflected and stolen away. Logan Hutchison may not have a point tonight, but don't let that fool you. His defense has been spectacular.
Just been tremendous. You know, I thought that was easy to spot from that first quarter on where he was just locked into Jamison Heck, the 3-year all-league player looking to play some D1 basketball at the next level. He's really kept him in check tonight.
Yeah, just 1 point as Wright loses the ball, and it looked like he dribbled it off of his foot. Again, Jamison Heck, not just the straw that stirs the drink. averaging 4 boards, and I'm trying to see how many assists.
6.3 assists.
Yeah,
so
incredible.
He's done a nice job of just not giving him easy looks.
And at 14 a game, that's a frustration shot because he just hasn't been able to get anything going. Ligon for 3 at the other end. Well, that would have been huge. Double teamed. Zippel with the steal. Fades away. It's a little long.
Well, that's a tough look. Zippel and Ligon that time did an excellent job of forcing the turnover in the backcourt. Got a great look, just couldn't get it to finish.
34-28. Lead is 6. 1 point shy of the largest of the game for the Bulldogs. Heck, nice feed down low, and Horton leaves the bunny short. He got challenged by Ligon. I'm not sure if Ligon caught a piece of that or not.
A great entry pass by Heck, but again, that physicality for Defiance was maybe the difference on that. Again, Horton comes in shooting 81% from the field, and boy, he's not going to miss that one very often.
Zippel back out to Schlatter for 3. It goes begging off the right side, and Horton says, I got the board. Heck with a rare fast break opportunity, but he doesn't have the numbers. They'll dish it down low. Polk really banging away with Zippel. Wraparound pass, slammed down by Horton. Boy, the big men really are good passers for St. Francis.
Credit Polk. He made that play happen. First of all, he got position down low, wanted the basketball, and then very unselfish play. Defiance, for the second time here in the last few minutes, loses Horton, and Horton slams it through.
Foul against Brown, his second. And was that Polk that got a piece of that? This is a guy that's going to probably be either a defensive or offensive lineman at the Division I level, and yet you see his quickness. As a matter of fact, Scoop, Toledo, Ohio, Miami of Ohio, Kent State, Eastern Michigan, probably the entire MAC by the end of the winter. As Heck finally with his first basket from the floor, coming at the 4:51 mark.
A premier bank there by Heck, and the only time of night he's able to catch and shoot in rhythm from just beyond the arc, and he cashes in. And wow, what a change here. All of a sudden, this Defiance lead down to 1.
So here's the fine line that Defiance is walking right now, because I know you want to milk clock, make them play defense, but at the same time, you still have to be sharp and run your offense.
You have to, and there's a good look right here by
Got it!
And he gets that Premier Bank 3. Great answer there by Defiance.
Ligon with his first basket of the second half. It's huge. A 3 to make the lead 37-33. Heck, is he feeling it now?
Oh.
Yes!
My goodness, another Premier Bank 3. This one from Jamison Heck, and that was probably a good 8 feet beyond the arc. NBA range plus.
From the banks of the Maumee.
Right now we've got a game of horse.
Right on the drive. Got a good look, but a little too hard. And how about this? A chance to take their first lead of the second half this trip down the court. Timeout being called by Coach Kashmarek. Checking to see if it's a 30 or a 60. It's a full. We'll break with them. 3:36 left to go in the game. Don't you go anywhere. It's crunch time when we return the championship game of the Grube Holiday Classic on DCTV Sports.
Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com.
Crunch time as we welcome you back to the Dog Pound. 3:36 left to go in the ball game. Championship matchup of the 2025 Grube Holiday Classic. The host Defiance Bulldogs trying to hang on and defeat the St. Francis Knights out of Toledo. Both teams entering today's game at 6-0. Somebody will be 7-0 with some championship hardware to put in their trophy case. We'll see who it is in about 3.5 minutes.
And Brent, both these teams know how to finish tight games and single-digit games this year. St. Francis 4-0, Defiance 3-0. Something we'll have to give here tonight.
Polk leaning in, muscles up. Horton with the board. Can't hit the bunny. Tapped around, and he's going to be guilty of coming over the back. And that's his fourth.
That's a missed opportunity. That time Horton from ground zero just could not get the ball to go down. And then he gets whistled for the foul, trying to get an offensive rebound. Boy, that's a big play. Defiance with the basketball and that 1-point advantage.
Singleton hustles into the front court, surrenders the basketball. Singleton hanging on to it. Is he thinking about making a move? He'll surrender it. Schlatter has had a good night, 12 points, dishes. Wright drives and dishes. Singleton, nice pump fake, stops and pops. Oh, net!
Great move there by Dre Singleton that time. Was able to get his man to bite on that shot fake. A nice step-in dribble move. String music from 15 feet out. What a big-time play by Singleton.
39-36, coming up on 2.5 minutes left to go. Wright overplays. He's going coast to coast. Lays it up and in!
That might be the play of the game right there. Points from the defense. St. Francis quickly gets to the head to Heck. Great transition defense by the Bulldogs once again.
41-36. They can score quickly and in bunches. Polk drives in, bowls over the defense and give him 2 off the square.
And he's a force inside. Not only does he have that strength, but he plays with a lot of energy out there. Boy, that's a big answer. Gets it within 1 possession here as we're under the 2-minute mark.
Wright being dogged by Heck out near half court. Defiance again going to hang on to the basketball. Careful, young man. And timeout being called by Brinn Layman. 30-second timeout. We will keep it here with $1:47 left to go in the ball game. Bulldogs 41, Knights 38. This game has not disappointed.
No, this is a great game, a great way to finish this Grube Holiday Classic tournament. 2 excellent teams, as you mentioned, both undefeated. In last year's championship game, St. Francis was able to win with their defense by a score of 34-32 over Anthony Wayne. And right now, even though we got a few more points tonight, the winning team tonight is certainly going to have to look back at their defense as being the difference maker here this evening.
There is still a ton of time, and again, only a 1-possession game. Defiance has got to number 1 inbound and be boss with the basketball. You know that St. Francis is going to be in your kitchen for the next 1 minute and 47 seconds.
Yeah, I look for Defiance to just play a little four-corner here. They're a 74% free throw shooting team on the season. St. Francis has 1 foul to give.
And Schlatter almost got stripped. Right across the timeline. Got to be careful. The sophomore does have his dribble. He'll dish. And right now, Defiance looks like they're just going to play keep away.
They got to get someone in the middle to throw the basketball to, because they're going to trap. There's the last foul to give.
There's Yates.
So from here on out, Defiance will be in the penalty. Remember, Defiance has not committed a foul here in this 4th quarter, so they have 4 to give. They're going to want to give them immediately if the big man Horton gets a rebound inside, make them take it out of bounds. But first things first, you want to try to put this away at the free throw line.
I was about to say, do you want them to just foul you? You play keep away, or do you run your offense? We just got our answer as Heck picks up his first foul, but that will send Singleton to the stripe.
Yeah, I don't look for Defiance to really attack an offense, because if you do, you're still looking at 6'11" Alan Horton inside. So I look for them to try. They want to win this game at the line. This is why you work on these every day. As we mentioned, a 74% free throw shooting team. And there's Singleton, a 77% free throw shooter coming in. String music on the first makes it a 2-possession game. But right now, every point is important. You don't want to leave points off the board. This one up and in as well. What a night for Singleton once again.
He's got 10 on the evening. 43-38, and now the Knights have to hustle. Heck from distance. Couldn't quite get the friendly roll. Polk Sky to pull it down, but he's a little too hard, and Zippel secures it. Now you got an outlet, and Heck comes over with a blocking foul. And a heads-up play by Heck, and also a good show of sportsmanship by Schlatter to help him up.
Yeah, and even though you're forced to foul, that's not the guy I think you want to foul.
No.
Schlatter is such a proven free throw shooter. Again, 80% on the season. He's had a good night here tonight. And right now, Defiance trying to get any separation they can. First one through and true by the sophomore Schlatter.
Josiah Schlatter, our player profile tonight, so humble. Admitted he's just still trying to get used to the varsity game. He's showing no signs of being intimidated at all. It's a 7-point lead with under a minute left to go. Heck on the drive. We've got a whistle.
That's not a bad foul. You know, you have 4 fouls to give. That's going to go against Schlatter. But again, you'd rather see that than a dribble drive there.
Yep.
And a chance to get this down to a 2-possession game.
You got a couple more to give, and the ball deflected on the inbounds by Zippel. Gets rid of it to Schlatter, and right now you just got to get it across half court, and they'll foul him. And you're starting to see a little bit of body language right now by the Knights.
Yeah, and again, I understand you got a foul, but you just can't go after a guy like Josiah Schlatter, 80+% on the season. He just cashed in on a couple.
He's 5 for 5, make it 6 for 6 tonight.
You know, I think you're better off taking a few extra seconds off, forcing him to give it up, and then foul someone else. But Schlatter, he's a guy that wants to be there at that stripe, and it shows.
16 points on the night.
Lead of the ball game here for Defiance.
Must score possession. Heck does just that. Drains a huge three, a premier bank three. And the lead cut to 6. This game is far from over. And right now what that also allows is the Knights to get into their press. If you are Defiance, you've got to anticipate you're going to see the teeth of a pretty strong one.
Yeah, what a clutch shot there by Heck. You know, that was just a bomb. No way really to defend that. But again, you're right. Now they're going to set that press. You know they're going to deny as much as possible, trap that first pass. You know, if you're Defiance, you don't want to throw it into the short corner where you're going to get that instant trap. You want to fake the short corner, go the long corner, try to get the ball to your best free throw shooter. Remember, there's no 5 count in the backcourt, so take your time in the backcourt, hold it for up to 8 seconds. Coach Brinn Layman, smart enough to call timeout. He still has a couple left if they get in danger of a 10 count here, but I don't think St. Francis will let that much time click off the clock here. If they don't get a quick steal, I'll look for them to foul immediately.
Singleton will be the trigger man. They will not put anybody on the inbounder. Your best free throw shooters on the floor right now are certainly Schlatter and Jay Wright. They'll get it to Schlatter. The sophomore will hang on to it. And a reach-in foul, and boy, Defiance just dodged disaster. Singleton got a little ahead of himself, but he's fortunate. As they'll walk to the other end of the gym, he'll shoot free throws.
He's awfully fortunate. That was a mistake that time. He put the ball on the deck, went right into a double team. That could have easily have been a no call, end up being 2 points and a chance to set up that press. Instead, 2 free throws coming up for Singleton. And Defiance, wow, they're making some hay from the foul line here, especially in this fourth quarter. And now they get back to a 3-possession game here.
He's not even a 60% free throw shooter, but he's finding his rhythm tonight as he makes both here. Wow. They may have just salted this game away from the charity stripe. Heck on the drive, a little out of control, can't get the friendly roll. Offensive board, Yates. Oh, wow, what a move. Was that Polnitz? Yep, it's Chris Polnitz, and a quick timeout. Those are his first points of the second half.
A great pass and great finish, and that's a big bucket. Gets it back to a 2-possession game, but right now St. Francis, their margin of error is shrinking by the second.
And I stand corrected. I accidentally said sub 50%. That's his field goal percentage. He's a 77% free throw shooter.
He was 7 for 10 coming to this one tonight, so he's a guy I'm sure Brinn Layman feels very comfortable with. at the stripe there. Again, a guy that's only really had a couple games rep here under his belt here, but boy, they've been good ones, averaging 12 points a game coming into tonight. And wow, with him on the floor, he just makes everyone around him that much better. Of course, he takes a lot of the pressure off a lot of guys as well, so you're going to get some more one-on-one opportunities for guys like Ligon, guys like Schlatter. And of course, we've seen what Zippel's done off the bench here tonight. He's really had a game, been an all-around performance for Defiance, but still some time left here. St. Francis this time will put pressure on the basketball.
Oh, they're leaving Schlatter open. He gets it right back to him, and they go over the top of it. Here's Ligon in the front court. They can just hang on to the ball right now. And a foul from behind. There's no reason to put the ball on the floor if you're Defiance. They've got to foul you.
And credit Schlatter. He immediately wanted the basketball, got it, and now he's going back to the stripe. So just high IQ basketball. Defiance does not want to give up a quick break here, so they have all four other guys off the stripe here. And why not? This guy's been money here all night long.
Oh, he's perfect. He's 10 for 10 right now. We'll see if he can keep it up. But right now, a 7-point lead versus an 8. It's going to be a 3-possession game regardless, with just 21 and 9/10 seconds left. Man. Just mature beyond his years. 51-43. Heck on the drive. They'll let him go, and they foul him. The absolute worst thing that Defiance could have done.
Yeah, I hate to say it. You'd rather just give an uncontested layup before you're going to make the foul and stop the clock. And what that does is going to allow them to set up some full court pressure. If Heck can make the N1 right here, but once again, down to a 2-possession game, a chance to cut it to 5 here.
69% on the season, rattles it home, and here comes the press. Now again, just hang on to it, exactly. No need to pass it, no need to dribble it. They cannot afford to allow any extra time to tick off the clock. And was that Brown?
Yes, it was.
He's fouled out.
Fifth. And what a heady play once again by Schlatter. You know, he made sure that ball was coming into him.
Yep.
He right away was able to put a quick juke in his guy, went right to the basketball, played strong with it, know he's going to get contact within a matter of a second or two. And now he's heading right back to that charity stripe to try to make this a 3-possession game and all but ice it here for Defiance.
Defiance is 11 for 11 from the free throw line here in the fourth quarter, and all but 4 of those coming from the man at the stripe right now. Second is on the way. Whew. Ice water in his veins.
Well, that's where you want to win ball games from the foul line. Defiance is executing to a T.
Heck from distance, halfway down it spits out, and Schlatter, well, why not? He had the board, he's fouled. Let's walk back to the other end of the gym and try and put the cherry on the sundae.
Wow, this is going to be an awfully big win for Defiance. As you look at Coach Kashmerick here, who's going to suffer his first defeat of this 2024-25 campaign. As Defiance, after getting 4th place last year in this Grube Holiday Classic,
they're serving notice tonight.
Just 9.2 seconds away from getting that championship. Wow, what a big win. What a team win. And Schlatter.
15 for 15 for the sophomore. All but 3 of those, check that, 5 of those coming here in the fourth quarter. Long 3 at the other end. Rebound by Yates. They're going to give it to him. Give him the win. Don't tell them it's an upset. And after going 0 for 2 a season ago in their own tournament, the Bulldogs come roaring back with a huge win, 55-48 over St. Francis to go 7-0 on the season, and the championship trophy will stay in the foyer here at Defiance.
Wow, what an incredible effort tonight by Defiance. A complete 32 minutes, but how about that fourth quarter? Defiance racked up 23 points against this stingy St. Francis defense down the stretch, and they will be the 2024 Group Classic champions.
55-48. They'll have some talking to do, and then we anticipate speaking to head coach Brinn Layman and a player or two of his choice. Don't you go anywhere. We'll take a 2-minute break, a 2-minute timeout. It will be the South 66 Lanes postgame show. When we come back, you're watching DCTV Sports.
Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
Discover top-quality healthcare education at Northwest State. Our instructors have real-world experience, so they know how to prepare you for great career opportunities. Northwest State, where you'll get the top-quality healthcare education you need to succeed.
Well, we welcome you back to the Dog Pound. It is buzzing right now. The South 66 Lanes postgame show is underway. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller. It did not disappoint. A pair of unbeatens went after it like a pair of heavyweight fighters, just standing in the middle of the ring and trading punches. And in the end, Defiance lands just a few more. Final score, Bulldogs 55, Knights 48. Head coach Brinn Layman and company now 7-0 on the season. Head coach Jamie Kashmerek and his St. Francis Knights fall to 6-1. Scoop, we talked about this tournament kind of having a postseason feel for it. A little bit different, obviously, this year with an off day in between games. But, man, if this was an indication of what both these two teams have in store for the rest of the season, buy a ticket, because two of the best teams squared off tonight. The host just got a little bit more done.
Yeah, those are fun teams to watch, and you kind of hit the nail on the head, Brent, as far as a championship bout here tonight. Well, it went the distance, and both teams really went down swinging, but credit Defiance. They just seemed to find a way. Every time St. Francis made a run, the Bulldogs had an answer. It took a total team effort. It took some great production from their bench, but they got it done, and after finishing fourth place a year ago, they will take home their hardware here tonight.
So we're taking a look. Come on over, sophomore. He was our player profile. He's also going to be our player of the game. Man-sized game for Josiah Schlatter. Throw those on, turn around, get your best side here. You're getting used to this, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations. I'm looking at 22 points on the evening. And, Scoop, I told you, in the fourth quarter, and what's the old phrase coaches will tell you? We want to make more than our opposition attempts. They didn't miss a single free throw in the fourth quarter. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 for 14 between you and Dre Singleton. Walk us through that. It's one thing to try and shoot them in practice, right? The old 1 to tie, 2 to win. If you miss one, then you got to run. But in the back of everybody's heads, you know it's practice. Tonight, the game was on the line. You seem to have ice water in your veins. Walk us through what your process is, what your mental preparation is when you go to the charity stripe.
I just knew that we were going to need these. They were going to be big, and that's what was going to separate us in the end. So I just 3 dribbles and shot it, and it kept going in. So we were happy.
You shoot everyone the same then, it sounds like, right?
Yep, 3 dribbles and let it fly.
We've got it down now. 3 dribbles and let it fly. Maybe I'll try that at the Y. I'm not sure if it'll work for me.
Well, good luck having the same results. But again, I love the confidence of this team. And so much of it is just not from the starters, but bench too. Talk about that tonight. I thought your bench came in big for you guys tonight when you really needed it.
Yeah, it was huge. Dre Singleton coming in, playing big minutes when Khalil got his 2 fouls and we had to sit him for a while. Will Horvath coming in making big plays. Breslin Zipfel came out and started. That's huge for us, having those other guys when our 2 big men were getting in foul trouble guarding the big dude from St. Francis, so that was huge for us.
Talk a little about your defense tonight, too. Again, this is the first time this season, actually the second, that you've allowed a team over 40 points, and this wasn't a nobody. This is one of the best teams in the state. You guys mixed it up a little bit, whether it was that sticky man defense, whether it was that zone. Talk about your principles tonight. How were you so successful?
We knew coming in that their guards were quick and their bigs were big, so we started out man, and that worked for a little bit, and then we started picking up fouls, so we had to switch to a 2-3 zone, and that worked pretty well. Give credit to number 12 on St. Francis knocking down those threes, but we just had to extend and know where everyone was at on the court.
And Josiah, as good as the offense was, as good as the defense was, I thought your guys' physicality night was the best I've seen tonight because it looked like St. Francis early on wanted to try to establish the paint. You guys did not allow that to happen.
Yeah, we had to push them out. Like I said, we had those our 2 bigs, Garrison and Khalil, get 2 fouls early on their big, and we just had to fight through it and play hard, and switching to a 2-3 zone helped us out, got us by.
Let's talk a little bit about the offense, especially in the tail there. When you hit crunch time, I'm thinking probably about the last 3.5, maybe 4 minutes. Where's the fine line? Because you still want to run your offense, but at the same time you want to milk the clock. And so often you see teams maybe get out of rhythm, and then all of a sudden they can't get back to it. What was coach's instructions? How were you guys handling kind of walking that fine line?
We could, in the last 3 or 4 minutes, we could take a layup, but we wanted to space it out, make them come guard us, and then eventually foul us. And we got a couple openings there at the end, that quick layups that helped us out, but just spacing the floor and making them come to us and foul us.
And Josiah, Jameson Heck, one of the top players in all Toledo, he came in tonight. He
was averaging 14.8 a game.
Plus a game, averaging over 6 assists a game. You guys completely shut him down. He hit some big monster shots. He had 12 of his 13 points that fourth quarter. But talk about the effort it took to slow down a player the caliber of Heck that you guys did here tonight.
Yeah, we just had to stay in front of him, make him shoot over us, and give him credit. He made a couple, but when it mattered, we shut him down the best we could, and that helped us out.
So what was the point? Because I know in talking with Coach, I asked, was he going to draw more than one man? And he said no, but you got to help, face guard a little bit. But he just never could seem to get into rhythm. As you mentioned, it was a team effort, but part of that comes with communication. That's one of the things you told me during the pregame interview. Coach has really been harping on you guys about communicating. How'd you do so tonight?
Yeah, we just had to stay in front of him and know where he was at all time. That was huge. They'd send him off to the side and run him off their offense so he could be able to shoot. But just knowing where he was all the time and having a hand up every time he caught the ball.
And talk about what's next here, right? With the Christmas break, with this game being a couple days for Christmas, what's the next week going to look like for you guys here moving forward?
We're going to get a little break over Christmas break, and then we're going to have to get right back after it. It doesn't stop, so we'll get back in the gym and get back to what we do.
I understand that this is coach speak, and I'm not going to put you on the spot because the most important game is the next one on the schedule. But we have shown that men's basketball banner up in the rafters, and it's got a little bit of a drought. As a matter of fact, I'm looking up there. The last WBL championship was 8 years ago in 2016. You guys openly talk about that as a goal, or are you just staying in the moment right now?
That's what we want at the end of the day. I won't lie to you. We want to put another number up there, so we'll get back to it and hopefully bring one home.
How much better can this team still get, especially over the Christmas break?
There's always work to do. We can always get better. We could have had a better game tonight, but we'll take what we got.
Enjoy it tonight. Enjoy it for maybe the next couple of days because it has been well earned. Josiah, our player of the game, congratulations to you.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so
Early
much.
Christmas gift. It comes in the form of the scoreboard. Final score 55-48. There we go. Well, my handwriting's a little small in my speed book. You see all those circles? Those are made free throws, and they counted tonight when it mattered. We're going to take a quick timeout. Back with more of the South 66 Lanes postgame show. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com. Your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com.
Back at the Dog Pound as the South 66 Lanes postgame show continues. I believe Coach Brinn Layman is on his way. We can continue to fill here. I told him, you win, we will stay on the air as long as it takes to get you down with us. We just heard from sophomore Josiah Schlatter with 22 points on the night. Let's go ahead and round out the scoring for Defiance. How about this? 2 others in double figures, Scoop. Jordan Wright, if there's such a thing as a quiet 10, he had it tonight, but the one play that really stands out for me in a one-possession ball game at the 2:45 mark, he gets a key steal, a breakaway layup, and makes it a 3-possession game again. If St. Francis scores that trip down the court, we might be talking about a different outcome.
Yeah, I really thought that was a backbreaker. Once you started going there, I knew exactly the play you were going to mention there. That was awfully big, one of many big-time plays Defiance had tonight, but that came at such a crucial time. That was a huge dagger into the Knights.
Also in double figures, off the bench, Dre Singleton with 12. He had 4 in the first half, 8 in the second half, and that includes 4 for 4 from the charity stripe in the fourth quarter. Rounding out the scoring, Khalil Ligon in foul trouble most of the night, finishes with 5. And then how about Brez Zipfel off the bench for the second straight game? He puts in 4. On the flip side, for St. Francis, 2 players did get into double figures, but they averaged 4, and everybody was under their average tonight. 13 points for Jamison Heck. He scored all but 1 in the fourth quarter. He almost put his team on his back, but it just wasn't quite enough. And then Alan Horton, their big 6'11 center, finished with 13 tonight as well. Raheem Brown with 9, Chris Polinitz with 5, and Trayshawn Chenault with 2, but only 4 bench points, Scoop. Again, Jermaine Polk came in, and I believe on Saturday had almost double figures. He scores all their bench points with 4, but the difference in bench production tonight, and we can talk about free throws, we can talk about Josiah Schlatter, but again, bench production, Defiance outscores St. Francis 16-4.
Yeah, that was certainly the difference. And this is the St. Francis team we mentioned. This team is going to win a lot of ball games.
Yes.
They're coming off an impressive win against Detroit Catholic Central, a powerhouse in that Catholic high school league that we all know is so tough. So to take out St. Francis here and the way that they did it, you know, their defense really made St. Francis work for everything. I thought physicality might be a problem coming in. It was not. It was a problem for St. Francis because Defiance's strength, physicality really caused some problems. And I think that's a big reason why all those night scores were held below their average here tonight.
Just a tremendous game, and I'm sitting here thinking if these two teams played 10 times, 5-5, maybe 6-4, we talked about it. Coach, again, Jamie Kashmerick for St. Francis has had some spectacular teams, both at Cardinal Stritch and now at St. Francis. For him to tell me this is potentially in the top 2 of the teams he's coached in his career is saying something. And here's Defiance winning on their home court tonight. This is more than an acid test. Was this a statement made by the Bulldogs this evening?
Well, it really was, because I think coming in that on paper everybody said St. Francis was the favorite, but Defiance, if you tell those guys this is an upset, they're going to laugh at you because
don't tell them that.
They expected the win coming in. But, again, they were going up against some athletes. Everybody knows there's 4 or 5 D1 athletes on that St. Francis side of things, but Defiance has athletes as well, as we know that. And, boy, they just really came to play. They needed to do it 32 minutes, but the effort was there tonight, and they come home Group Classic winners tonight.
Again, still waiting on head coach Brinn Layman. What we're going to do is take a 2-minute timeout, another 2-minute break as the South 66 Lanes postgame show continues. 55-48 Bulldogs over the Knights. We're back with more right after this. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
Visit Mark Moats Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Moats Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmoatsford.com. Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com.
There we go, man. I'll come back.
We signed up full time.
We welcome you back to the Dog Pound. This place was hopping just about 15 minutes ago. That's one of the, I don't know if you want to call it ironies, but it's one of the things I've noticed where all of a sudden as we're one of the last ones out, it's like a library in any venue. You could be at a stadium that seats 100,000 and you could hear a pin drop by the time we usually get done. But I can still hear the echoes a few blocks away from here, maybe in particular a couple of residences, because they are going to be celebrating this one for a while. 55-48, Defiance knocks off St. Francis to remain unbeaten on the season at 7-0, handing the Knights their first loss of the season at 6-1. And as we promised you, the coach joining us right now. He's a little stoic right now. Have you come down a little bit, or are you like the British? You're still rumbling inside?
Not yet. I'm going to need a little bit to wind down. It'll take a while.
All right, a number of things. And we talked with you about it on the pregame. Defense in particular. This was by far and away the most high-powered offensive team that you have faced, and yet you hold them to under 50 points. And Scoop was talking about it too. Physical defense. Your thoughts now that you're kind of running through the game in your mind right now?
Yeah, I think, I thought we played both defenses well. I thought we played man-to-man really well. We just got in foul trouble, and we had to change things up a little bit. So very proud of how our guys responded. I think, our foul trouble was self-inflicted. That was on us. A lot of really, really silly fouls, over the back, pushes, reaching it, and, we had to make adjustments. And I'm really proud. Our best player was out for a large stretch in the second and third quarters, and we had guys step up in a huge way.
Talk about your bench. Talk about guys stepping up. We had them outscoring St. Francis bench 16-4 tonight. I thought you got tremendous lift, not from just the guys that put points out there, but the guys that just really brought the energy to the floor.
Yeah, I think, the versatility, we really, when you bring a guy like Brez Zipfel and a guy like Dre Singleton off the bench, those are two guys that would start anywhere. And when you have that luxury of, we've got a 6'7" kid that averages 10 rebounds a game that gives us something, it's like everybody has assumed a role, and I want them to be aggressive no matter what they do, but these guys are really buying into what they do, and I'm just really proud. The bench guys, they can come in and there's no drop-off, and it's, we had to sit Khalil there for a stretch, but Will Horvath gave us great minutes,
yep.
and Dre Singleton and Brez off the bench. Brez was unbelievable. I think he led us in rebounds. Just three guys that we can really trust to throw in the mix, and that's a good luxury to have.
I want you to expand a little bit more on what we had talked about, and I think we had used the phrase be a star in your role. He doesn't have a point to his name, but what Hutch did tonight on Jamison Heck, and I know he'll tell you it's a team effort. You'll say the same thing, but can you just talk about a guy that doesn't seemingly care if he fills up the stat line, makes the highlight reels at 6 and 11, but just does the dirty work for you because he shines tonight.
He embraces that, and that's a role I think any coach you talk to, I know he doesn't, he's not as aggressive as we'd hope offensively. I think he could be a little bit more aggressive there, but he's any coach's dream. He's not afraid no matter how good they are. Jamison Heck is a really good player. He's a guy that, you saw there late. He can pull up from anywhere, and he's a challenge. And when you got a guy like Logan Hutchison that's not afraid to go at somebody like that, it allows guys like Jordan Wright and Josiah Schlatter to defend somebody a little bit different. He's just an ultimate team guy, and we're happy we've got him.
You mentioned Jordan Wright. He finishes, if there's such a thing, a quiet 10. But I marked it in my speed book here, the 2:45 mark. And it's a two-possession game. They've got the ball, and Jay makes a tremendous play on it. Steal, basket at the other end, and it just seemingly changed the complexion of the game in crunch time.
Yeah, and we've got guys. We've got a lot of guys capable of doing things like that. And we were in a tough spot. They cut it to one a couple times there in the fourth quarter, but he's a big time player, and we've got to convince him. Friday he played very poorly at St. Mary's. He just has to play with that swagger all the time. He's got to know that he can have success at the varsity level every single game. It might not always be scoring, but he's got to make little plays like that. He's got to rebound. He's got to defend. And, when he does that, he contributes a whole lot to our team.
And, Brinn, talk about your rebound tonight. You guys are giving up a lot of length, but rebounding I thought was an area that St. Francis might thought they could exploit you in, but that was not the case. You guys more than held your own out there on the board, did a great job at both ends. Talk about that a little bit.
We got some guys that are fighters, and they're really good rebounders because they read the boards well. They really, we've talked about they early in the season, a lot of running under the basket trying to get rebounds, and now they're starting to think a little bit. And, having Brez Zipfel, he's not afraid to mix it up, and Dre Singleton's not afraid to mix it up on the boards. And Khalil had 9 on Saturday night. Garrison's averaging 10 a game. So we've got a lot of guys, and then we've got guards that aren't afraid to stick their nose in there. Josiah Schlatter, about 5 rebounds a game. Jordan Wright. So it's a team effort, and it's a lot of guys that aren't afraid to go get it.
One last one, we got to talk about it, and you've mentioned the phrase. Every coach has mentioned this. If we make more free throws than our opposition attempts, we feel good about our chances to win the game. You're 24 for 25 from the line tonight. 14 of 14 in the fourth quarter. They attempt 12 on the entire game. And I know it's one thing when you run those drills, 1 to tie, 2 to win. You're trying to basically simulate a tight game, try and do it at the end of practice when your legs are weary. But let's be honest, it means more when the game is actually being played. And you are perfect in the fourth quarter, not the least of which Josiah, but 14 of 14. What's that tell you about this team's mental toughness?
They got a sense of calm to them, and they're not afraid to go right at people. And I think, last year I was not a big fan of the 2 foul shot rule. I wanted some 1-on-1s, so we had a chance to get back in games. But this year I'm very pleased that we get to shoot 2 every time we step to the line.
Take us through what happens now. You've got a little bit of time off for the Christmas break. What's going to be the take a moment and enjoy this, reset maybe a little bit before you get back into practice? What are some of the things you're going to be working on in practice?
They're going to have a couple days to relax a little bit and enjoy this one, but when we come back on Thursday, it's getting ready for Ottawa Glandorf, and when you go to the Supreme Court, I don't care what their record is. That means nothing to me. They're a team that they've got guys that are going to play their butts off, and that following that one, we've got Lima Central Catholic. So we're going up against 2 behemoths and teams that Lima Central Catholic had St. Francis on the ropes. So they're a team that can really, really play. So both Ottawa Glandorf, LCC at their places are difficult. So we're going to be gearing back up here soon.
Wrap it up in white and blue, a neat bow. It's an early Christmas gift, and it comes in the form of a 55-48 win over St. Francis. Coach, congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, guys.
Great job, man.
We're going to take one more time out. We're going to put a wrap on the South 66 Lanes postgame show right after this. You're watching DCTV Sports. Well, the only sound you hear right now is closing time. I can't remember who does the song. Semisonic, yep, fantastic. Not to date myself, but still, it holds the classics. Hold up over a long time. They're cleaning up after this one. Likewise, Defiance did the same thing against St. Francis, 55-48 to go 7-0 on the season. The Knights, look, we know where they're going to be. Most likely a conference champion, certainly a threat, a favorite, if you will, to make a deep run, if not win a state championship. That is a talented team, but Defiance made a statement tonight.
They really did, and it took a whole team effort. It took total 32 minutes, but we saw a little bit of the grit and heart that this team has. I mean, we've seen it all season long, but you could see the focus. This is the team coming in. They were believing they could knock off a St. Francis. They never once doubted themselves.
No.
And, wow, did they step up. You mentioned the free throw shooting, 24 for 25 on the night, a perfect 14 for 14 in the fourth quarter in crunch time. These guys stepped it up, and they earned this title here
Absolutely. Tonight. One last piece of business to take care of before we put a wrap on it. Time for our Player of the Game, brought to you by BSN Sports. Our Player of the Game will receive a DCTV Sports Player of the Game T-shirt. I'm going to reword that if that's okay after the new year. Courtesy of BSN Sports, the official apparel provider of DCTV Sports. Look, you could give this to the entire team. You could go ahead and basically fit up, what do we got here, 18 of them, because just about everybody played a part in it. But the sophomore, Josiah Schlatter, finishes with 22 points, including 10 of 10 from the free throw line in the fourth quarter. We're not talking early. We're talking most of those coming in crunch time from 3 minutes in. There's no way this kid is an underclassman. He reminds me a lot of Mark Macon. I know I'm going to throw an old bone at you here, but the old freshman guard from Temple way back when, he just has a feel for the game, a larger-than-life presence, a maturity about him that reminds me of him going back, good Lord, it was probably the mid to late 80s. He just reminds me a lot of him.
That's a great analogy, but the thing I loved about him tonight was, and I've seen this from him every night, but Josiah's that guy that wants the ball in his hands, especially in crunch time. He knows they're going to be getting fouled. He wants to be the guy at that free throw line, and wow, did he deliver, came through, just a perfect night from the stripe. But again, a great team effort here tonight, and this one has to feel good, but they've got plenty of work to do as the schedule does not get any easier coming out.
It's going to do it for our broadcast here this evening. Our next one will be after Christmas. It will be the Border Wars, day number 1, coming up on the 28th, correct? Yeah, 25th, 26th, 27th. It's the 27th, excuse me. And then we'll have both sessions on the 28th for you. So we invite you to tune in to see one of the premier wrestling tournaments heading into the new year. For now, though, we wish you a very safe and Merry Christmas, and we hope to see you in the new year. For our entire crew, doing more than yeoman's work, a big thank you going out to all of our underwriters helping make this broadcast a possibility. For Scoop Miller, I'm Brent Balbinot. We thank you, the fan, for tuning in. Final score again tonight. They keep the trophy in their own showcase as Defiance knocks off St. Francis, the champions of the 2025 Grube Holiday Classic. You've been watching a presentation of DCTV Sports.